Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News Bulletin, dateline 10th of March 2023. The Taliban's return to power in Afghanistan changed everything. Since returning to power, the group have consistently cracked down on women's rights and freedoms. They've banned all girls from going to school and from attending university, entirely cutting off female access to education. They've banned women from most areas of employment, including humanitarian aid organizations. Women don't have the freedom to dress how they want. The Taliban Code of Conduct says women must cover themselves entirely, but most women in big cities wear the headscarf. They are not allowed to travel long distances without a male chaperone and have been barred from going to parks and gyms. Without so many rights, women have wondered what's left for them. Cyclists Fariba and Yildiz, and other female athletes like them, were representative of an Afghanistan which had been making progress towards gender equality over the 2 decades since a US-led coalition's overthrow of the old regime. That new version of the country, though, was not one the Taliban supported. Fariba and Yildiz Hashimi were born in one of the most remote conservative provinces in Afghanistan, where it was practically unheard of to see women cycling. In 2017, a local cycle race was put on in Faryab, a province in the north. The sisters, then aged 14 and 17, decided they wanted to take part. They ended up finishing first and second. It felt amazing. I felt like a bird who could fly, Fariba, now 19, told BBC Sport. The sisters knew they had to leave if they had any chance of continuing their careers, so they contacted Alessandra Capellotto. The Italian, who won a world road title in 1997, now uses cycling to help women around the world. Her charity, Road to Equality, had sponsored a race organised in Kabul for International Women's Day in March 2021. The Hashimi sisters had met her there. They asked for help. Their lives were in danger, so it was natural to help them, Capellotto says. She called every contact and organisation she could think of to get them out, from the Italian Minister of Foreign Affairs to the United Nations. With her influence, Fariba and Yildiz, as well as 3 of their teammates, Nuria Mohammadi, Zara Rezaei, and Arezo Sarwari, got a seat on a flight from Kabul organised by the Italian government. They had to say goodbye to their families, not knowing when or if they'd see them again. Capellotto brought them to a small, hilly town in the Veneto region of northern Italy, close to where she lives. They desperately miss home and become instantly emotional when talking about their families, but too often they're reminded why they left. They have had social media messages from relatives who are members of the Taliban, telling them to cover up in photos they've seen of them racing in international media. My friends can't go to school or leave their homes, Yildiz says. I think what would have happened to me if I'd stayed. It was a brutal decision to have had to make so young, choosing between their homeland and family and their career and dreams. In a recent sermon, Pastor Kent Christmas of Regeneration Nashville, a non-denominational church in Tennessee, urged his congregation to avoid putting their money in banks and instead give it to the church as a form of spiritual investment. Not only that, Pastor Kent promised his flock, if you've got $1 million, give it, and God will give you back $2 million. See this video.
This is This is my personal opinion. I don't think churches should ever have to lean on banking systems to finance the kingdom of God. Christians deposit their money in the wrong places. We're putting it in banks. Any company that does not believe in God, that backs up abortion, backs up homosexuality, that backs up anything that stands against Christianity, has a curse on it. When you invest your money in companies that exclude God, you are planting in bad soil. So it doesn't make any sense. But if you got extra money, plant it in the kingdom of the Lord. Do it in missions, do it in places. Listen, right now, we are good soil. If you got $1 million, give it, and God will give you back $2 million. You say, well, that's easy to say. I'm just telling you, you cannot outgive God. And this is an opportunity for you, for God to open the windows of heaven over you. Give him your seed and he will give you your harvest.
7 people have been killed and several more injured in a shooting at a Jehovah's Witness meeting hall in the German city of Hamburg. Police say the gunman acted alone in yesterday's attack and is thought to be dead. They add that, as yet, there is no reliable information on the motive. The gunman is a former member of the religious community, aged between 30 and 40, Der Spiegel magazine reports. The victims are yet to be identified, and work at the crime scene continues. Police say they found a dead person at the scene who they believe may have been the perpetrator, and investigations are continuing. The reasons behind the shooting were still completely unclear. These midweek bulletins will be compiled into the roundup of the week's religious news, which goes out as usual on Saturday. Thank you for watching.